The story that I decided to read about and do my report over for the Coretta King Award was Minty by Alan Schroeder, and it was illustrated by Jerry Pinky. The illustrations in this book are fabulous, and that's why this award won. This is why this book won that award in 1997. As you can see, there's beautiful watercolored prints that has great details, and it follows the story perfectly. And if you would read what the author has written here, his illustrations follows it great. So that's the reason why this book won that award in 1997, was for the illustrations. But basically, Minty is a story. It's about the story of a young Harriet Tubman. Some of you might know that Harriet Tubman was famous for the Underground Railroad, and this is basically tells the life before she became famous for that. So basically it starts off with Miss Minty living on a farm. Her parents are slaves, so they're out in the field working, and she's being watched and raised by Mrs. Brodess. So one day Miss Brodess was calling her in, and Minty acted like she didn't hear her because her favorite place to spend time was in the barn. Well, in the barn she had a little doll that she hid. This doll wasn't in the best shape. It was missing a leg, and it had broken buttons for eyes. And Minnie thought she was safe by keeping this doll out there. Nobody knew about it, but Miss Brodess actually did. And we'll find that later on. So when Minty finally comes in for supper, she gets interrogated by Miss Brodess and questions why she wasn't coming. She says she didn't hear her, which she honestly truly did, but she just didn't want to come in. So during supper, Minnie is asked to serve potatoes, and she spills the cider. From that point, that makes Miss Brodess mad. She shows her that she found her doll, and she throws it in the fireplace and burns it and tells her husband that come tomorrow, Minty has begun to become a slave and work out in the fields. So she goes works out in the fields, and she meets a girl named Amanda that's about her age, and they just become friends. So Minty still lives with her parents, but since they were working out in the fields, Miss Brodess would be taking care of her now during the day. But now that Minty is working out in the fields, she has constant contact with her parents, and her parents just encourage her, do what you're told, don't get in trouble, and just do what you're supposed to do. And Minty keeps telling them that she's just going to run away, and they keep telling her that if she runs away, she's going to get caught. So the next day she told Amanda what her plan was as well, that she wanted to run away. Amanda said, don't run away, they're going to always catch you. And Amanda showed her a scar on her forehead that she had because she tried to run away. And it just goes throughout the book, and Minty keeps telling her dad that she wants to run away. She wants to run away because she's unhappy. So her father actually teaches her how to make sure that she's going in the right direction, so she chooses to leave. He shows her what the Northern Star is and the Big Dipper, and explains to her that you must follow the Northern Star to make it north. That means you're going the right way to Philadelphia, where freedom will be. He also told her that if the stars aren't out that night, that she can go into the woods and look for the moss growing on the tree. The moss will always grow on the north side of the tree, so that she can always follow and then use that as a marker as well. But to never eat the moss because it's very bad and will make her sick. He also teaches her how to fish with just the simplest things, sticks and stuff like that. Teaches her how to catch squirrels and skin them, how to do bird calls, just basic life skill things, how to swim. The only thing that she had a problem with was making a fire, but her dad said that will come as you go. But he made sure to tell her that you always travel at night. That way they can't find you. Taught her how to go through the woods quietly as well. Minty actually never escapes in the story. But in this book, since it is about Harriet Tubman, in the back of it has a little insert that has about the author's notes. So it says that Minty actually made her dream come true in 1844 at the age of 24, and she escaped. And then that's when she became Mrs. Tubman, because she married a black freed man named John Tubman. And then it just talks about the story of Harriet Tubman, how she would always go back to Maryland and help free the other slaves through the Underground Railroad. And it describes the Underground Railroad down here, which it says it was not actually underground, but no trucks or trains could get onto it, so that's why it was considered underground. And along the Underground Railroad pathway, they had little houses that they would stop to hide the slaves that were escaping, just to prevent, and once again, they would only travel at night. Great story for kids to learn about the history of Harriet Tubman and the history of slavery.